Hello, welcome to the video. Today we're gonna take a look at some Galar Cup battles for the Open Great League. I want to say that doesn't make sense, but we just gonna roll with it. Of course, the Galar Cup Great League edition here. We're going to have a team with the Shadow Charizard. This Pokemon got nerfed this season. You think it also got buffed, but it still got nerfed. So Charizard got nerfed in terms of wing attack, being the best fast move on this Pokemon, allowing you to give quite fast energy generation, which is really cool because you have, of course, access to the very hard hitting move of Blast Burn. While still having good bait move of like Dragon Claw was really cool. Also type coverage wise, it was really good to have. But yeah, of course, that move got completely nerfed into a way where you would never want to use it anymore. I have actually not seen a wing attack user really since. But still, this Pokemon has access to another fast move that got buffed, which is going to be Fire Spin. And Fire Spin is now honestly a very solid fast move. Like, it's definitely a very solid fast move. But also it is not like the craziest fast move. It's not on the level that Wing Attack was before. But at least still Charizard is going to be viable. Like, if you have one floating around, might be actually worth it to just get rid of the fast move of Wing Attack and get the Fire Spin onto this Pokemon, because it actually has a quite unique role in the current meta, which we can talk about as well, and why it's going to be very strong for the Galar Cup and not so much for any of the other cups. But yeah, we're gonna talk about this all in this video. So if you enjoy this type of videos, I would really appreciate if you would leave a like and yeah, also subscribe to the channel. It is free and it is very good for me. Anyway, it's very late for me, by the way, so like if I commentate a bit weird, or if my plays are also a bit weird, that's something I have to talk about as well. My plays were not all on point. There were some times as well where you most likely not gonna see it, but I lost to a bit of lag, where it was just like a bit of clunkiness in there again, which makes it impossible to catch a move or throw a move on time. That's something that's definitely hurt me a bit with the team, but I feel like the team itself is definitely something I can recommend you to try to copy. That team worked out. There was no real huge core breaker that I was like really seeing that was like, oh, that's such a pain, I would never know how to get rid of this Pokemon. That never existed. Even against like Mandibuzz, take a look at our team. We're going to have one Pokemon Elite that's just very neutral. Like, everything is very neutral from both sides. Then we're going to have our Say-Swap where, yeah, fast move is going to be double resisted, that's fine. We have Stone Edge doing super effective damage, as you can see here. And then we're going to have our Closer. And our Closer is going to have access also to Thunder, which is going to do super effective damage against those flying type Pokemon. And so that's kind of cool. You know what's also kind of cool? Shadow Charizard. This Pokemon is quite unique. Being able to basically destroy all the fairy type Pokemon, which are quite common, having great coverage against all of the other Pokemon that are currently floating around as well, is quite nice. And then not only this, you're also going to be able to have that flying typing against Diggersby, which is really cool. So like Diggersby's Scorching Sand is still going to do just single resist damage, but it's not going to do like anything else, which is going to be great for you. So like this Pokemon itself has a great typing, but it also has the same typing as Talonflame. So why not use Talonflame, you might ask? Reason for this is quite simple. It's not allowed. It is not allowed, and this is like the only thing that kind of bothers me about Shadow Charizard right now. It is only going to be good in limited metas where Talonflame is banned. And that is going to be quite rare. And in this case, like, this is going to be one where Talonflame is, I guess, not available. And at least as far as I know, maybe I'm wrong about this as well, but as far as I know, it is not available. And Charizard can just basically fill that role of like the fire flying Pokemon. Yeah, kind of the best here, because you're going to have access to Blast Burn, you're still going to have access to Dragon Claw, which is a cheap charge move anyway, and together with the buffed Fire Spin, it's definitely going to be kind of solid in that kind of regard. And so yeah, it's definitely an interesting one here. Also an interesting one, there's going to be most likely quite a few battles here as well where I went into the wrong league because I'm just silly. So like there are going to be some most likely open Great League battles as well along the way. I'm not too sure on how many there actually are. Maximum like 1 or 2, like I don't think there was anything else, or like 1 or 2 battles where I was like suspecting, is those Pokemon actually allowed, or did I go into the Open Great League? But generally speaking, the meta here itself is interesting. Like you have Pokemon, for example, here like Togetic, which are things that you usually don't really see, but also kind of telling already basically in terms of if you're going to be in the correct league or not. So like it's not always only full meta Pokemon, but quite a lot of the good meta Pokemon from the current season are also still here for the Galar Cup. Anyway, we're going to see the power-up coming through here. This is going to allow us to do some no damage, basically, get some shields from the Torchic. We still have to get basically a Thunder here in order to knock them out. Spoiler alert, this is not going to work out too well for us, as the Aerial Ace is going to be enough to knock us out. So next opponent, horrible lead here again. We're going to have the Quagsire in the lead. I'm going to stay in, go for 3 fast moves and then swap out. This will allow us to basically swap out at a time where if they go for a charge move, we get a free fast move in. But also, it's never going to be like that the opponent going to completely outspeed me the entire time. Yes, they're going to be able to maybe go for some moves or whatever. But if you go for 3 fast moves and then swap out, you should be kind of lucky, even if they want to stay in the Quagsire matchup. Here, of course, you're going to be able to, I'm going to be able, that's my gameplay here, going to be able to go for the Stone Edge, doing some nice damage against that Rockrunnit, but that's going to be just basically farm on material for that Charizard. You could use a shield if you want to. I don't really see the point. It's just going to be the super effective Bubble Beam, but again, Bubble Beam, super effective, doesn't really matter if it's super effective, barely does any damage. And so, in comes here the Awkward Tail, which is definitely a bit different, going to be forcing us to use a shield here as well from the Quagsire, and we're going to decide to let the move go through. It's going to be the Stone Edge here against us, going to be quite neutral, like, it's actually going to be something resisted at least here, which is going to be great for us. We're going to undercharge the charge move, which allows us to get 2 more fast moves in, and in comes now the Drapion, and I was thinking, I don't really know how to play against this Pokemon. I could just wait until the opponent goes ahead and goes for a charge move against me. I could also swap out. What am I going to do here? I actually don't really have an idea about it right now. I am going to let the move go through, I guess. It is going to be the Crunch. It is going to knock us out. But we should have like 2 Dragon Claws down now at this point. And I don't really think that the opponent can really do anything about that. And so the Drapion is definitely going to go down now. And we can move on to the next opponent. Sorry, Rockrunnit, I completely forgot about you, but does it really matter? I don't really think so. We're going to have the Diggersby here against us in the lead. And again, it's one of those Pokemon where you're going to have a bit of a benefit of having the Charizard, having the flying typing, going to allow you to resist every single move of the opponent. And that's Quick Attack, which the opponent always going to run, and Hyper Beam, which is definitely something that is not really usual on this Pokemon. We're going to be fine. We're still going to use a shield here. We don't get the debuff, which is quite nice, as we are going to be able to go ahead and go for some damage against the opponent's Mandibuzz here. As the opponent decides to use the shield, we're now shieldless on both sides. I don't really want to give up my final shield here yet, because yeah, I still have some other plans as well with that shield. So we are gonna go ahead and go for a Stone Edge. We're just gonna hope that we're gonna do a ton of damage here with this move, which we do. And so hopefully the opponent just maybe like completely forgets about things. Who knows? Most likely not. They decide to go ahead and go for Dark Pulse here against our Ferrothorn here. We're gonna see the opponent stopping in with a Diggersby. They have access to Fire Punch, double super effective. We're gonna still try our best here. We're gonna go ahead and go for the power up. I think there was the one battle that was quite a bit laggy at the end here as well. We will see. We're gonna get some nice damage here. That's actually looking really good for us, especially as we can keep the shield for the Charizard. That is looking really good for us. We're gonna go back into that Charizard, get some delicious energy just to get hard walled by the Toxapex. We can still go for the Stone Edge. That already was a bit clunky, but at least we're gonna still be able to get to the move in time. But I definitely know that with a Charizard afterwards, I was not really able to time stuff, and that is definitely not an excuse from me. It's just how it is. But you see already there's some lag. You see already even in the gameplay here sped up that there was like some lag in between as well, which is okay. The opponent is gonna be able to go for the Brine, get the shield, and they can. And there was also some lag again before there, and so they can still go for another areas. Would have won the battle? I could have for sure, but it would have been definitely a very risky and very difficult move there. So I still think I'm most likely gonna be better off like this. So it's totally okay. Next opponent though, we're going to encounter here the Runerigas, a Pokemon that got access to the move Brutal Swing as well, which is quite bad because you're going to have also access to Shadow Claw, allowing you to go for 5 fast moves and then go for Brutal Swing straight away, doing a ton of damage as well with that, which is kind of cool. And for the next one, you only need like 8 fast moves, I think, or like 8 turns in terms of the fast moves, like 4 fast moves total in order to get there. So I guess it is definitely a solid addition to this Pokemon, especially as the year before it did not really have to, I mean, you still don't really have anything against Dark type Pokemon, so I guess like there was not actually really any coverage benefit there from it. But it's still kind of cool to see a bit of a buff to like those Pokemon that have potential, but that are not quite there yet. Anyway, we're going to see here the Hakomo on the back, which can be a bit tricky because we are not running any kind of fairy type Pokemon. We have a Quagsire, which is not really ideal, and we're going to have a Clodsire, which is even worse for that kind of regard. But anyway, we're going to be able to go for the Aqua Tail. This is going to allow us to get the knockout against the opponent's Hekomo, and they're going to have in the back the Whimsicott. And you might think, oh, easy peasy, we're going to be able to easily win this battle now as well here. We're going to still have our Ferrothorn. Like, what are they going to do? They can do a lot. They can do a lot. We're going to see it here today as well. Like, they can definitely do quite a bit. So, they're going to have Moonblast here. We're going to go ahead and go for the bait, because it's very likely that you're going to use a shield there anyway, which you do not. And the opponent is going to just be there with their Whimsicott and being just all happy and hoping the Whimsicott can sweep. The Moonblast coming through here doing quite some decent damage against us. Well, we can try our best here. We're going to go ahead and go for that Power Whip against the opponent. Getting the shield, and we're going to see that they are not able to get that Aqua Tail off in time, which is quite an unfortunate for us because it's going to definitely change the events a bit. We would have been able to get rid of that Whimsicott already, and we most likely would have been able to, win it all, but it is what it is, and we can move on to the next opponent. 3 more battles. We're going to have another hard counter here in terms of Toxapex to swap out into our Say-Sub of the Quagsire, which can definitely especially take the poison type hits, which is really good for us to know as well. Poison type hits is not really the ideal one for us, but we're going to be able to go ahead and go for the Stone Ash. Stone Ash is going to be doing quite some solid damage. I would connect, but the opponent decides to use a shield here, and as you're going to see, it is going to be another Stone Ash coming through. It is going to do this time around quite a bit of damage, and it is through our hands. So this was. We're going to be able to see the opponent going for another charge move. It is going to knock us out, and now it's down to Charizard. I'm going to try to go for the full farm down for you because I know you love that. Honestly, you do love that. To be fair, full farm downs are always my favorite type of things as well, especially with the Charizard. Charizard has access to the move Blast Burn, which does tremendous amounts of damage. So I can't wait to see how that and where that's going to land. So we're gonna see here in the back as well. The water type coming back in there, Toxapex, and the opponent is actually deciding to forfeit, so we never want to see how much damage we're going to be able to do with a Blast Burn. What we're going to have here next is going to be a Clodsire, and that is definitely a very nice one. We're going to swap out here onto a Quagsire just to have both Zyres meeting each other again. Still kind of mindset the one is just going to throw an Earthquake onto the other, but it is what it is. We're going to see the Feraligatr coming in here. Feraligatr going to be a Pokemon that is going to be quite an interesting way there. We're going to try our best to just go ahead and go for those charge moves as the opponent approaching you. We're going to be able to go ahead and go for the Aqua Tail, get them kind of low. And now we're going to have the Ferrothorn. Now all of a sudden they're going to decide to use all of their games against our Ferrothorn. What are we going to do here? Hydrokin is coming through. That is going to be fine. We're going to be able to take even another one if they want us to here, which we are going to be able to take another one. We're going to be able to go for the Power Whip and knock them out with that, and this is looking really, really good. So let's see on how this is actually going to go. We're going to get the knockout, and let's see who is coming in next. It's going to be the Dugong, and that's going to be a matchup that's definitely should be at least kind of fine. Dugong is going to be a Pokemon that does not appreciate Blast Burn whatsoever, and so that is going to be fine. But here, as you're going to see, we're going to be able to go ahead and go for another Blast Burn against the opponent's Dugong, and we'll be even able to outspeed them again. That would be very beneficial for us. Can we still get to another one here in time? We can, and Shadow Charizard here still showcases at least on how strong it is. We can move on to the final battle of today. We're going to have a horrible lead. We're going to have the Gastron here in the lead. That's already kind of bad. It is not actually that bad though, because they're usually running the fast move that's resisted. And Body Slam is not going to do too much damage. So they're forced to go for the big moves. And basically it is still a kind of solid matchup for the Diggersby. Diggersby right now, honestly, one of the best Pokemon in the game. If you have not seen my video earlier on already about the best Great League core right now, definitely check that one out, because it kind of shows how strong Diggersby can really be. But anyway, we're going to see here Drifblim against us. Drifblim was definitely one of the worst Pokemon to face for me. I always faced it with my Say-Sub, and the Quagsire just was great, there is a floating balloon there in the sky. Why does it bother me? And it does not really bother anyone. But anyway, we're going to be able to go ahead and go for that Blast Burn, which got caught on a Gastrodon. That's quite an interesting play by the opponent. We're just going to put them basically into farm range for Bullet Seed, which is going to be great, as now we're going to be able to get a ton of energy with our Ferrothorn. Earth Power is going to hit us quite hard. Well, let's see what they're going to have in the bag. It is going to be Let's find out. It's going to be that Manibus, and we're still going to try our best here. Thunder's going to do some super effective damage, but it does not look too great for us. We still basically have to hit another Thunder here. We have to get somehow a ton of fast move damage in. We have to catch a move, and we still have to hit a Thunder against the opponent's Drifblim, and so like we're just going to say goodbye to the opponent here, and I'm also going to say goodbye to you. So thanks all for watching this video. If you enjoyed this one, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.